Good morning. Friday thoughts. We're just checking how everything is working. This is going to be a Friday thought download, so that you've got something to think about today. So what I want to do is just focus on two clips that I watched last night on YouTube, and the subject matter, just remember what this channel is about. It's building a strong Israel and a Jewish people. So these two clips, I want to focus on how the host was handling the person being interviewed or having a conversation with, and how they handled the comments or even the debate. Okay, so the first one is Sam, and this gentleman, he's got a big following, over 301,000 people. Now that's a lot, so he's obviously got a lot to say, and of value, obviously, because you've got a whole bunch of people following there. And what we wanted, and he's speaking to a Jewish rabbi about Jesus being the Messiah, and using scripture from a Christian perspective to prove that Jesus was God. Okay. So let's go for it. I will leave a link of both of these clips in the comments, so that you can look at the full interview and also comment on it, or see if what I'm saying is correct, or you agree with me as well. Okay.
I know it's about this house. That's my point. It is this house. This house doesn't.
How did this house become more glorious?
It will. I will fill this house with glory. But you think this is the
same? It wasn't finished built when Zerubbabel and Joshua were building it. It took many more years. So then, even at the time of Ezra, they were still building it. Stop the games, dude.
I know. I'm not denying any of this.
Okay, so how did the second house become more glorious than the first?
It did not. That's my point. It didn't.
So this is a false prophecy.
No, it's not. That's my point. It's not talking about the second temple.
Because you're thinking. This house, which house? Let's go back. This house that Zerubbabel is fashioning, this house I will fill with my glory.
Okay, can I give you an analogy? Maybe to
illustrate. Again, I want to deal with the text.
I'm trying.
I'm following the text more than you are. Can you explain it to me?
I'm trying to. You know what?
No, you're not. You're telling me it doesn't have to mean this house.
I'm going to pull it up in Hebrew. Maybe it's not clear there.
You want me to show you the Hebrew? You can read the Hebrew. It's not going to make your case.
I think it will.
Okay, let's see how it's going to make your case. My goodness, sorry. My goodness, man. What I
just feel like we're talking past each other. I don't know how.
No, we're not. You're denying what the text says, because you know it's meant to show you missed your Messiah and you don't want to repent. Here it is. Okay, Haggai. Let's go to Haggai 2. Okay. When do you want to start reading from the Hebrew from here? It's right in front of you. You want to start from verse 1?
Yeah. Okay, talking to the guy. Slow down. What
does it say here?
Yes, this temple, this house.
Okay, remember these words, okay? Yes. Which temple? The one that Zerubbabel is fashioning, right?
Yes, the same one that was destroyed.
Okay. Good. No, it wasn't destroyed yet.
No.
Meaning this one was, but...
Okay, so that's where I'm actually going to stop. So you can actually see what Sam was doing. He was taking scriptures and he was reading it, how he understands it, and how he was putting it into context. Now you've got a Hebrew scholar and rabbi that reads the Hebrew, and he was going to bring his analogy and understanding. But Sam continuously through the whole interview, whenever Haggai wanted to bring the Jewish perspective, Jewish scholar perspective and understanding, he would then just overpower the whole conversation and just continuously drive his point. Okay, so that's not an open debate. That is just someone that is there to raise his voice. What he would also do is raise his voice to overpower the whole conversation. Okay, and that's not constructive. It's not constructive at all. So firstly, what I want to say is, if you have got a book, okay, that has the first, if you can call it the first edition, scholars, okay, and scholars through history had written down their thoughts and commentaries about what was happening, okay, through the language, the culture, and all of that. You've got those people, and then you've got people that had taken of that information and a new, how can you say, commentary or interpretation was written in the New Testament with their understanding and their language. Okay, you've got these two viewpoints. So you've got the New Testament from Sam's point of view, and then you've got Haggai, which is from the Jewish point of view. Okay, now Sam didn't allow, or doesn't allow, Haggai to bring the perspective from the Jewish tradition, to actually saying, well, through history, what was written was handed down with the oral Torah as well, to explain the context, to explain the language, to explain everything that was used during that time. Okay, so that from the Jewish scholar perspective, you can get an understanding of what the context would have been. So this is where Sam is just driving the whole point about this temple, because with this temple, he goes, if you go a little bit back, that's where he's referencing, where there it speaks about the Messiah being God. Okay, I don't want to focus on that. What I just want to focus on is even the point of what he was saying, this temple. So this temple, in the context of what he was explaining and what is in the, let's call it the Old Testament, this temple, which was the plans, which is this temple, okay, will be built 3 times. Okay, so with the reference to this temple, while they were building the second one, it means this temple that God gave the plans for, all right, that Solomon first built, this is going to, and now it's been built for the second time, and it will be built for the third time. The temple doesn't change. It's this temple, but the iterations were different. And Sam chose not to listen to that point. So, in my mind, that is not a constructive debate. What it is just driving your point, using your platform, using your influence to not even openly discuss what you believe. What it is you are driving your point without getting anything anything from truth or context from, in this case, a scholar of the Jewish texts. Okay, you just beat down your point constantly. Okay, So in the context of this, we'll touch on the next point as well. Okay. The next one is that interview with Piers Morgan, Dave Smith with Natasha Hasdorf, okay, about what's happening in Palestine, okay, and obviously we know the war's been going on for 20 months and there's a lot happening, okay. Now this is about the food distribution that's going into Gaza and the misinformation that was sent out that Gazans were murdered and killed by Israelis during the food distribution. And this is what Piers Morgan and Dave Smith also look at the whole interview. I'm just going to do small excerpts just to show how the interview went and then make a comment on that as well.
Food, some of whom ended up dying, some of whom ended up being shot. The IDF says it wasn't them and it was Hamas. We don't know who did it because, as you know, the Israeli government has banned all international journalists from being anywhere near this to verify what is actually happening.
Piers Morgan, you're not allowing me to answer a single question.
I am, no, and then when you say something that I don't agree with, I'm challenging
I'm
you.
sure I'm going to say a lot that you don't agree with because, unfortunately, your assessment is being based on misinformation, like these false reports we've had today of Israel shooting 31 Palestinians attempting to get to food. That was run, and Ambassador Mike Huckabee has criticised this resoundingly in a statement just now. That was run in the context of the Associated Press, CNN, many media outlets, and it was entirely false because it is, as has been the case previously.
Well, hang on, the Israeli government says it was entirely false. What we have had, sorry, just to correct
it's not just the Israeli government.
Sorry to jump in again.
No, it's also the Gaza Humanitarian
Israel
Foundation.
has done one of its own reports because journalists aren't allowed to verify this independently. So Israel investigates itself and has decided it did nothing wrong.
Referring to
hang on. What we do know is that a number of doctors and hospital spokesmen and charity spokesmen have all said that there were many people killed and many more people wounded taken to hospitals. And they saw the bodies and they saw the wounded. So somebody was killing.
Vibe code tools for SMBs with data button.
Okay, so what I want to do is just play a little bit past this one, but the comments that it just gets worse after that. He doesn't allow any conversation to continue.
You say it was Hamas. Hamas say it was the IDF. We, the international media, cannot verify this because Israel doesn't allow us in to do our job.
That's not why this reporting has been conducted on such a false basis. It's because nothing coming out of the Gaza Strip is able to be reported without Hamas control. And you, as part of the international media, Piers, will know this.
I also know that historically Israel has accepted that the health authorities' numbers, historically, before October the 7th, that they have been broadly accurate. That is the historical position.
You must also know that the assessments of Hamas casualty figures by experts and statisticians have found them to be preposterously inaccurate, fabricated.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you what I asked you.
No, you're not allowing me to finish a single
answer. Well, I can
answer.
actually conduct this interview anywhere I like.
Well, then the viewers aren't going to get any benefit of
the viewers can make their own mind up about what they're hearing and seeing. When I interviewed the UK ambassador to the UK,
yes,
she was able to tell me definitively that 30,000 Hamas terrorists have been killed.
I think it was an estimate, let's be clear.
But she had absolutely no idea, estimate or otherwise, how many children have been killed in the process. Do you know?
There's a very simple logical explanation for that, which is Israel is targeting Hamas and Palestine.
Do you know how many children Israel's killed in the process?
There is a very simple explanation for the reason that we do not know. Because
you only count the terrorists who killed, not the children. Well, I just ask you, just to be clear.
Okay, so as the interview continued, okay, he didn't allow Natasha to answer any of those questions, okay. And I want to go back also to what is now being said with this food distribution, that the people that have died, they are actually saying that Hamas didn't do it, and the IDF says they didn't do it. So why are the people dying? So what Piers and Dave Smith, is actually saying is it's because of the IDF that these people are dying. And no one from their side, Piers or Dave Smith or those that are against Israel and the IDF, take into account, okay, what Hamas does, okay, takes the food, all right, from the trucks, then goes and sells it on the black market. Now you've got all these Gazans, okay, they sell it for money because obviously they have to finance their war machine or their war, okay, so they use that international aid for it, okay. Now you've got Gazans that have to pay and they increase the price as well. So now you've got Gazans. What if you don't have money? What if you can't afford that? You've got the aid trucks actually coming in and they know it's for free then. They don't have to go and buy it on the black market. They don't have to go and get it from Hamas. So obviously they're going to rush for the free aid that is supposed to be free, okay? So there is going to be all this confusion. So why would the IDF cause these Gazans that need the food and the aid, why would they attack them? Why would they cause them harm? Hamas definitely wants to cause them harm because they want to take the aid. They don't want them to get it for free because how are they going to finance their war machine? Okay, so no one takes that into account. Piers Morgan, he's just beats down on Natasha, doesn't allow any facts to come through, as she always correctly does. And then Dave Smith, in his estimation as well, both of these people haven't even been to Gaza, I'm just guessing, and they don't know what war is. I don't think they've had to fight for one meal in their life, ever. Okay, so what do they know about the Middle East? What do they know about war? And what do they know about what's currently happening on the ground in Gaza? So it's just common sense where it actually says, okay, people that don't have the resources in Gaza to be able to buy this food and aid from Hamas to finance their war machine, they've got the opportunity to get the things for free or to get it as it's supposed to be. They're going to cause confusion, a whole bunch of situations to occur in this food distribution. That's why the Israeli Defense Force with the NGO, I will also post a link to what was posted there, where they've actually set a food distribution plan that gets the food to the right people in the right way, in a controlled fashion, okay, and keeping Hamas away from the civilians in Gaza so that they can get the aid that they need. Okay, so my comments is just on these two interviewers, hosts, don't allow for debate to happen. They beat down the people that they've got. Both of these hosts, Piers Morgan has got a following of 3.9 million subscribers. And this is what he does, okay? He allows the misinformation to go out. He doesn't stand by the truth and the facts, okay? He does, further on in the interview, he talks about how bad Hamas is and what they did on October 7th. He doesn't agree with all of that, but he doesn't take it to what they're currently doing. what they're currently doing. Okay? He focuses on the children, which is, it's shocking, shocking what is happening to the children and the women and those that are intimidated and can't fight back against these Hamas barbarians. Okay? It's shocking. But he doesn't focus on that. He doesn't look at logic to actually saying they want to control the distribution of the food. They want to get the revenue. So obviously, when it's for free, you've got thousands of people that don't have the resources to buy on the black market to be able to get to the food and the supplies. And that's what causes all the injuries and even the death as well. So those are my thoughts, and I just want to just leave some encouragement to actually saying there is a sentiment that is out there that the Jewish people and Israel are committing all these atrocities, and which is not backed by truth, which is not backed by facts on the ground. And Dave Smith throws those words around about truth and about what's happening on the ground in his understanding, and which doesn't, it's not backed by what's actually happening. So I just want to leave with some thoughts. Stay strong, stay encouraged. Truth will always come out. History is written by truth, not lies and propaganda. And we need to stop the lies going out. So those are my thoughts. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.